I think it's a shame that Christopher Eccleston's Ninth Doctor only lasted for one season. And to be honest, I really enjoyed him as the Doctor. He may not be my favourite, but he was still a good actor in the role. So I started to look back at the episodes that he did, and here is my top 5 favourite Ninth Doctor episodes. Now bear in mind, these are not the 5 best episodes of Doctor Who in general, not even the best Eccleston episodes entirely. These are my personal Ninth Doctor episodes, and if there's an episode on this list that you would have had on it, or maybe there's one on this list that you would have put higher or lower, just keep in mind this is my list, and if you have a list of your own, I would like to see it as well. So with that said, let's get started. So with number 5 we have Father's Day, and it's an interesting episode focusing more on Rose and, sort of her going back in time with the Doctor, and supposedly she was supposed to be there for when her father had died in an accident, because no one was actually there to comfort him as he died, and that was kind of like the whole point of it. And then suddenly it turns in a different direction, and therefore changing history. And this is an episode I refer to a lot when I think about it, because the Doctor is very strict and angry that Rose basically changes history, and the fact that she saved her father's life in this, there are deadly consequences. Like, it's not as basic as the Doctor saying, oh, this is a fixed point in time, you'll change the whole course of history. It's not like that. There are literal consequences to it. Now, again, at the same time, what really determines them as actual fixed points is a little bit difficult, because it's not as big as the Titanic or World War II. This is something as small as an average man in an accident dying. And it is interesting because it does sort of make me question what is right and what's wrong. And because the Doctor always says he knows what he's doing when he's saving certain people. But in this episode, it is interesting what actually happens when they are sort of gone against the rules. And also what's interesting in a way is the whole thing with Rose's father, and his sort of realization as well. And when you go through the episode, you sort of see his mind working in a way that he realizes what he has to do in that. And it is an interesting episode. I do like the idea of the Reapers, and in a way they should have come again in the series a few times, like in Matt Smith and Capaldi's run of the series, but I won't get into that. I just found this a really interesting episode. With number 4 we have Rose, the first episode of the, not just the Ninth Doctor, but of the new Doctor Who series. And it's an interesting one when I look back at it, because I started out in Doctor Who, I think, in the midway point of season 1, because I'd missed a lot of episodes and I didn't actually hear of Doctor Who on the television. And so yeah, I just randomly found it, and it wasn't until a rerun on another channel on TV3 that I got to see season 1 in full before getting the DVDs. And when I watched the first episode, it's interesting because it does focus a lot on Rose. You see it from her point of view, and I think that's good, because the Doctor, even though he's existed already, he is still brand new to the viewers watching it, and we do see it from Rose's perspective. She looks up the Doctor, blue box, TARDIS, all that. Like, on the internet, there's stuff like you can see the Doctor through history. Though I would have liked it if you actually saw, the different Doctors, like the fourth, sixth, seventh, a lot of more others, and also she's just trying to gather information because she knows nothing about it. And I related in a way because I knew nothing about the Doctor, and I was kind of confused because I knew there was Doctor Who before this, but I didn't really know that much. And it was interesting as well with the whole thing with the Utans, a previous Doctor Who enemy that is brought back in this, and I thought they were kind of cool, especially the use of them in the shopping centers. I just thought that was really awesome. The CGI again with the Reapers as well. Actually, CGI is a bit dated on like the sort of the glob kind of thing, and also on like the Mickey Uton, and also the wheelie bin. It is kind of weird, but again, it is a fun little episode. So next is a two-parter, The Empty Child and The Doctor Dances. It's an interesting one. It's based in the past, where the Doctor brings Rose back in time to World War II, where he's following sort of like a trash bin, like a space trash bin or something like that, or an escape pod. He follows it back to World War II, and there's this child who everyone tries to avoid, who wears a gas mask, and he keeps looking for his mother. And it's a little creepy in a way because a lot of people don't find this really creepy because, oh, it's just people with gas masks. But it's sort of like a zombie apocalypse kind of feel with the Doctor. But at the same time, it's a little scarier because, with zombies, you have some fighting chance because, if they bite you, which is a very specific area, which is their mouth. But with the empty child and the people he touches and who they touch, you turn into one of him. And that is a little scarier than just one touch. You have to avoid any contact whatsoever. And constantly the question is, are you my mummy? And it is a little freaky in a way. Stuff with like children and that is a little scary to see. And the end result of the Doctor Dances is really good. I really like that. Also, this is the first time we see Captain Jack Harkness, who is a fantastic character. Though in this, I don't feel as if he's that great. I feel as if he's a little bit of a jerk in some moments of this. But later on in the series, he's a great character. And yeah, I just think it's a fun adventure. So number 2 is Dalek. And to be honest, I actually had a tough choice putting this at number 2 or number 1. And I decided to put it at number 2. Well, it is a very good episode, but it is kind of a build-up kind of episode in a way. This episode, it has a few bits here, sort of Easter eggs from very old Doctor Who series, like an old Cyberman head in a case. And basically the whole episode is that the Doctor and Rose find themselves in an underground museum or a personal museum, like collection, whatever, of a guy in America who basically has his own army and like scientists and stuff like that. And the Doctor goes there because he hears a distress call, which is coming from a creature in a vault, which turns out to be a Dalek, which is of course the Doctor's greatest enemy. And it's like really weak. It can't even like fire from its gun. You see the Doctor like go crazy. As soon as like he knows it's the Dalek, he's screaming, he's panicking to get out of the vault. But then when he finds out it can't use its gun, he like almost kills the Dalek. Well, he tries to kill the Dalek. And later on when it gets out and you see the power that one Dalek has. And that's kind of like the idea of this episode. It's really just to show the strength of one Dalek. And the first time seeing this, it's crazy how strong they are. Like there's a bit where I think the Dalek's against like maybe somewhere between 20 to 40 people. I'm not sure quite how many. He like kills all of them with like 2 shots. Like that is crazy. And the ending itself is a little bit questionable, and it's like looking back on it, it is a little odd in a way, but in general, I do think this is a good episode. I enjoy rewatching this a lot. Um, yeah, it is a fun episode. I really just like the whole idea of the Dalek, going around just killing absolutely anyone that it makes contact with. So yeah, number two, Dalek. So I'm sure most of you have known already that my number one choice is another two-parter, which is Bad Wolf and The Parting of Ways, the season finale. There is a lot in this. Well, the first half, it's kind of funny, really, because you have this whole thing with the Doctor, Jack, and Rose. They're sort of knocked out and brought to Satellite 5, which was in a previous episode of the season, in the longest game, and they each of them appear in a different TV show in the future. So Rose is on The Weakest Link with it, and Robinson Robot. You have the Doctor in Big Brother, and you have Captain Jack in a show that I can't really remember what it's spoofing, but there's these two robots, and it leads up to some comedy at the very end of it that I really like. Yeah, but these aren't like your normal shows because people die basically. Like the weakest link at each round dies. Someone voted out of the Big Brother house dies. Stuff like that, and you see the state of the world, um, in that like time period because it's like set way in the future. The Doctor believes it's all his fault because of what happened before that, and then you find out like this whole like conspiracy in that nothing is as it seems, and the true masterminds behind it, uh, it is the Daleks, of course, and they really shine in the second half. But one of my favorite scenes is in part one, where it's I actually can't remember if it's at the end of part one or at the beginning of part two. I actually have a feeling now it's at the beginning of part two, but there's like a whole thing with like the Doctor and a Dalek, and they're talking to each other like on the monitor, and uh, the Dalek's like, "Are you ready to surrender?" No, it's like, "Are you going to give up, or like she will die?" And the Doctor like just looks at him like, "No," and the Dalek like doesn't understand, and like, "It means no." "What do you mean?" "I mean no." And wow, I just made myself like a dork there. I probably won't even edit that out because I'm just too lazy to. But yeah, I just love that whole interaction thing, and one of my favorite reasons why uh, Christopher Eccleston was a great Doctor, because of that moment. It stood out to me a lot. The Doctor fighting against all those Daleks, it's insane. You really see like how much terror the Daleks can cause, and the previous episode Dalek really just builds that up more, because you see how much damage one Dalek can do, and there's like 500,000 Daleks in this episode, and they're attacking this one satellite, which has barely any weapons on it whatsoever, assuming that the weapons will have any effect on the Daleks, of course. And yeah, it is crazy, and the slaughter. Oh my god, they just like slaughter every human in their path. The ending is a little bit Deus Ex Machina in a way. It kind of isn't, but it kind of is. It's questionable, but yeah, I just think it was a great two-parter and a great season finale. So those are my top 5 Ninth Doctor episodes. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like if you did, and in the future I will do like top lists of the 10th, the 11th, and I will do a top list of the 12th Doctor, Christopher Capaldi, probably sometime after Christmas, because that's when the last episode really of his is. And well, maybe he'll regenerate like at the very beginning of the episode, who knows. But I'm gonna hold off and see how that goes before I really give my opinions on his best episodes. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching the video. Subscribe, stay up to date with videos that I'll have coming. And I probably will do a video on the new Doctor announcement, which is coming out tomorrow, the 16th of July 2017. And because supposedly it's going to be announced after Wimbledon tomorrow, which is it is interesting to find that out. So yeah, I can't wait for that, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.